inside. "You want to taste that, don't you?" she accused, clamping her leg shut around his hand. "I want to make you come right now," he whispered. "Open your legs, just a little bit." She gazed into the shadows of his eyes, and he stared back, shameless. He leaned in, and with his free hand, reached for the half-full champagne flute resting on the side table and handed it to her. "Drink," he urged. "Is this part of the standard service?" she quizzed with a wide grin. "Or is my kitty irresistible?" Payton took a swig of the champagne, warning bells going off in her head. She could hear her best friend Sydney chastising her about being overly friendly with her cookies, but she ignored it and tightened her thighs around his hand as her hips found their own rhythm. The one thing that she could always count on was crazy shit like this happening to her. Truth be told, she wanted to come too. The craving was powerful, a magnetic pull forcing her hips to wiggle toward his hand like a heat-seeking missile. What was a girl to do? David was in all-day meetings, and if she didn't get a release right now, she'd have to make a detour back to the hotel room and get herself off, or walk around for the rest of the day unable to concentrate, her thoughts dominated by the turned-on ache. In her mind, there was absolutely nothing wrong with getting a little assistance from this perfect specimen standing in front of her. It wasn't like she was going to fuck him. Hell, this was Vegas, and what happened in Vegas was going to stay right here between these four khaki-colored walls. Payton gulped another swig of the champagne and scooted her hips to the edge of the table, never losing contact with his hand as he massaged her clit with just the right amount of pressure. She reached forward, grabbed a fistful of his shoulder-length blonde hair, and guided his mouth to the intensity he'd ignited between her thighs. With every flick of his tongue, the pressure mounted in her core, and it wasn't long before the first wave, then the second wave hit. She tossed her head back, spiraling into an abyss of electric sensations zigzagging through her extremities. "Shit!" she cried out. The room dipped and spun like a reckless carnival ride as tiny particles of pleasure flicked around her. "Oh, God! Oh, God! Oh, God!" she exhaled, totally lost in her senses. Before she could catch her breath, her body still tingling, the technician stepped back, used the back of his hand to wipe her juices from his lips, and excused himself from the room. In a post-orgasmic haze, Payton sauntered toward the wash basin, but paused at her reflection in the full-length mirrors propped along the far wall. Medium height, with enough tits and ass to stop men in their tracks. Not bad for 38. Once she reached the sink, Payton noted her almond brown eyes and flawless skin. Her cheeks flushed from the oxytocin release, or maybe in her case, dopamine, the hormone men released after an orgasm. She was all woman, but didn't understand the hang-ups many females had when it came to sex. This was the first time she'd gotten off at the hands and mouth of a complete stranger, but pleasure simply validated her existence. Nothing more, nothing less. Not that happily ever after bullshit most women are taught. Hell, a good head job always put a smile on her face, and who wouldn't want that? Out of the corner of her eye, a pink leather-bound style book labeled Vajazzle Designs caught her attention. She opened the book and began flipping through the pages, all the while remembering reading online about some celebrity who had put crystals on her vajayjay to get over a bad breakup. The elaborate designs were beautiful, but the thought of where all those tiny jewels could end up wasn't appealing. She lingered at the more simple designs of a tiny heart and the butterfly silhouette that almost matched her tattoo. These were more than enough bling to cheer her up.